They ask, why was man's law created? Man's law was created for those who don't follow God's law. So if you don't follow the 10 commandments and you don't honor your mother and father in that authority, then you go out and you commit crimes and you do things. So now you're governed by the world's authority, your presidents, your governors, your mayors, your police force. All these people was put in authority from God himself. And when I say authority, either they have the same goals and mindset to stop crime and punish those that do harms, or they have a demonic position and a demonic mindset. And when you don't listen to the laws of God, then those are your consequences by the laws of man. Romans 13:1. For everyone must submit to governing authorities because all authority comes from God. Read it yourself. Take one. Let's go. Cop edition. So I have Sheriff Smith. Sheriff Smith, can you tell me, as a older black man, respectfully, what made you want to be a police officer?
Just something I always wanted to be from a child.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Look.
Take two. Retired officer edition. So, as an ex-officer of the law, as a retired, my apologies, officer of the law.
I had to get on Vicky about it the other day too.
If a person entices another person, aka cuss them out, say racial slurs, whatever the case, does that other person have the right to physically attack them, or words
No.
not?
Words alone are not provocation.
Thank you, sir. Take three. Releasing body cam and video footage like Kyron Lacey. All right, so I'm here with Officer Scott, who's an awesome guy, by the way. So my question is, if it's an ongoing investigation, high profile or otherwise, why isn't video footage or body camera surveillance released to like the media or the public?
So any part of the investigation, even the video, won't be released during an active investigation. Policy, protocol, whatever you want to call it, because we don't want to jeopardize the investigation by releasing something that could help us, as opposed to releasing something that now it's out in the public and can hinder the investigation.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Take four. Hotels, restaurants, stores. Is it the shoplifters or is it the intruders on the outside, mostly like trespassing?
It's a combination of both. Probably it's hard. It's probably a combination of both.
Okay. Take five, and probably the most important question of all. A retired Texas police officer. And I just have a few questions. So especially here in our Black and Hispanic communities in Texas, can you tell me what the code of silence mean?
Well, yeah. I don't just come from law enforcement. I grew up in the neighborhood, and so it was even strong when I grew up. Is the sense that you do not give information on somebody in the neighborhood, regardless of how heinous of a crime they did. Like, for example, this last weekend, killing 6 people and shooting numerous others. You know, at times there's really strong influences not to give information on other people in your neighborhood. And what's interesting is people often do if there's incentives, lesser sentence on their crime or funding from the government to pay people to talk. But it's legitimate in neighborhoods that it's reinforced by influences in the neighborhood, like violence. If you are seen giving information to the police department, there could be violence upon you or your family or something like that. But we really need to have it mean that when you are protecting your neighborhood, that's protecting your neighborhood against all threats. So if somebody is killed in your neighborhood, that's not good for you or your neighborhood. So providing information, but in a manner that will keep you safe, is really critical.
So I was speaking to Congressman Manning, and what he said was he think we need to bridge the gap between the policemen and the communities again. So he was telling me about his days of growing up, and he knew every police officer by name. And even though he grew up in a racist era, he knew the white cops and the black cops. And if anything went on in the neighborhood, everyone pulled together. And when they didn't tell on you, it's usually because you already got a beating from 12 other parents. But so my next question to you is, how do you think, being a retired officer, that we can make those things happen? Like, how can we build trust again between the police officers in the community, so that the black and brown people in general don't think that it's a setup, or that we're wasting our breath, and that we're only going to be on the criminal side and not the side of right, and the police are there to help us and not just hurt us?
Well, I think you've seen throughout time that certain people in law enforcement have a tremendous amount of trust in our neighborhood. So, for example, if you go to the community and you say, do you trust Officer Johnson, for example, they might say, yes, I love Officer Johnson, I trust him with my life. But then if you ask them that same person, do you trust the police department that Officer Johnson works with, those same people will say no. So we have to take that same concept and ask yourself, why do they trust Officer Johnson? And most likely it's because they have a history with Officer Johnson. They've gone through some things, they've known him or her over time, and they've experienced some stuff. And Officer Johnson has stayed true to, he has the job to do, but he has built a level of trust with people where they can see his heart is true and all those sort of things. So we have to carry that same kind of thinking over to the organization as a whole. So if somebody is wearing that patch, they automatically trust you. You have to lose that trust for them not to trust you. And so that's going to take a lot of work, because there's a lot of history behind law enforcement and community. And we have to actually start working on that. We can't just go, we had a crime yesterday, we need to solve this, without the long-term approach to how do we build these relationships, build a better trust. So these beliefs of snitching and not snitching are never able to take root the way they have, because there's too much trust built up.